I think I had a lunch lady named Lorraine.
My grandma was the only one I knew. Yep.
Presuming that's where it came from, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, not one of the names that we had picked going into the operating room either for the C-section, by the
Oh,
way.
listen.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't even get myself into that. I got no kids, so.
I was freaking out because I was starting to have like Braxton Hicks contractions at like 36 weeks, and I was having a little bit of blood pressure issues, and I was just like, we have to pick out a name, because with Elliot we had the name picked out. Like once we knew we were having a little girl, we knew we were naming her Elliot, and I was just like, so we went prepared. We only had one name, and I was like, okay, we need to figure out a name for this one because I'm freaking out. What if we have her tomorrow and we don't have a name? Oh my god!
She's like, this baby's not going to have a name. I am not okay with that.
And so,
Did you make an app for that though? It's called Kinder, and it's like Tinder. Only you swipe the names that you like or don't like. You can put in religious background, ethnic background, all sorts of stuff, and it like comes up with a whole bunch of random names for you.
Whether you want like German style names or like European or like Irish or whatever kind of.
Yeah, so we go through that for a couple weeks.
Kinder down.
Yeah,
Kinder. Okay.
We go through that for a couple weeks, and we've got a name, two options picked out, and we tell. We've got this older gal that's one of the nurses in the operating room, and she has Lorraine via C-section. So I go over, do the umbilical cord thing. You're like across the room. There's a little bassinet, and then bring her back over to mom. And the older nurse is like, "Which name is it, Dad?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm not.
No.
I'm not doing that." And she looks at her and she goes, "Neither." And in my head, I just started boiling. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "This was the biggest deal for the last 2-3 weeks." And now it's neither?
The face she was making, like Nate's grandma Lorraine made this face whenever she was just like being little feisty little old lady, and she would just like scrunch up her face and look ridiculous. And I'm just like, Lorraine was making that same exact face when he brought her over to me, and I was like, oh, she's a little baby Lorraine.
Oh, funny.
It's like, yeah, it's not, her name's not going to be anything we chose.
Nope.
Sorry.
I got to tell you, I'm looking that up right now. You could have mentioned that when I was trying to name the dog. Just saying. I even asked you.
I didn't even think of that.
Asked you if you have any good names, let me know.
I didn't even think of that. It's really funny, though, because usually Nate's the only one that remembers the Kinder app. So...
Well, that's because it was such a big fucking deal.
I know.
Exactly.
I would have been fuming
us
too.
Pregnant women are a little bit irrational when we are.
Oh, that's one that's
through
definitely stored for like the next friend of mine that's like, my wife's freaking out. We can't come up with a name. Here you go. Try this.
Dude,
Magic silver bullet for you.
When we were naming my youngest one, like it was still on the days where fucking sitting on the couch with a book, baby name book.
Oh, yeah.
And our oldest was all like, we can name her Georgia. And I'm like,
and buy a stripper pole tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm like, wrong ethnic group.
Okay.
And I got slapped for that.
I have a funny feeling she was probably not super impressed. No. Well, listen, we jumped right in here. Buddy, how was your week?
It was good, man. I was able to stay warm.
Yeah, it's been chilly.
Negative 40.
Oh, man, it's been cold. It's been cold. I don't know, was it much outside, though? Like, were you outside much?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, when I walked from the car to the job site.
You pansy. Okay, that's why I asked, folks, because I knew this was going to be something here. What do you think, man? Do you want to get after it?
Yeah, let's get after it, man.
All right, welcome everybody to the I Shower After Work podcast. John and I here again on a Saturday from the East Side Job Trailer once again. I already asked John how his week was, so I won't reiterate myself or repeat myself here. But yes, man, it's been damn cold. I'm getting tired of it already, and it's just started.
Yeah, but you've had an exciting week too. Last couple of days, right?
Well, at this point, it would have been like probably 2 weeks that we've been dealing with new puppy love. We're recording this one a tad early, but yes, as of this recording, less than 48 hours with the new dog. She's going to be the producer, mascot, something of the podcast. We haven't figured it out.
She ain't taking my job.
No, we're going to we'll put up a couple of photos though and introduce you to the new dog.
She is.
Unfortunately, they didn't have any cute ones, so we just got the first one we could get.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if you believe that, I will tell you another one. But we are pretty excited because we've got another guest, and in this case, two. So, buddy, I don't know how it is for you, but with me, my wife gets a little glossy-eyed when I start talking about my day. all the construction, all the details. I don't know how yours reacts. Mine just glazes over. I can't blame her.
Yeah, mine tries to be super supportive,
Right.
and she gives this, "Oh, baby, I'm sorry."
And sometimes at the wrong time,
Yeah.
where it's like the yeah, sure. Yeah, I get you. Okay. So I'd often wonder what it would be like if she was actually in the industry. Well, today we're lucky. We're going to get to the bottom of it. All right. We've got, I'm happy to say, a returning guest and a new one. We have Katie back with us today, who, if you haven't heard her episode, it was number 20.
Yep.
For Women in Construction Week last year. Unfortunately, we're going to pick another lady for this year.
Great.
So, and if it's a young apprentice, we're going to get you come in and tell her what not to do.
Perfect.
But just as importantly,
Or what to do.
yeah, go back and listen to Kay's episode if you hadn't heard this one. But she's back with us here today, and we mentioned her husband so many times last time that we decided to bring them back today. So welcome to the podcast, Nate. How are you?
Good.
Very
Yeah,
good.
we drug your ass in here this time.
Yeah.
Poor bastard.
Yeah.
Because since this is for Valentine's Day, and we have a husband and wife who sort of work in the industry together. But we're going to get into it a little bit here. So real quick, Katie, on your last episode, we learned that you were at the time just first-year apprentice. We're going to ask you what's going on since then.
Great.
Two little girls, obviously, Elliot and Lorraine, and they're 8 and 5 now, which is awesome. And you were nice enough to call John and I both a couple of job site 9s.
I didn't even remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was a big moment for me.
My
Felt
ego
pretty good,
don't-
actually.
My ego don't write on it, so.
No, well, listen, my ego is so fragile you wouldn't even believe, folks. So I do a podcast. What's been happening since the last time you were here, though, Katie? You're unfortunately no longer with our shop, but it
I
happens.
know, I miss it. I am now with Olympia Tech Electric. They're based out of Plymouth.
Yep.
And I, since July, have been working out at the Minnesota State of Emergency Center in Blaine. So I got there, they were like right in the middle of Ruffin. And that job, which was great, did not allow MC anywhere. So we got to pipe literally everything.
That is fantastic.
I know. I
Oh my
love
God.
it. And the fact that I've got to do so much bending in the last 6 months is just,
People don't realize that in the electrical industry, that's a dying art.
yeah.
Like, we never run fucking pipe anymore.
No. And anytime I see any piping done, I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful. Or, ugh. There's never really that in between of, oh, that looks okay. It's either shit or beautiful. And I don't know.
You got to go to Chicago.
Well,
Yeah, you
they
wanna
pipe
run that's right.
everything
Low
there.
voltage and pipe, everything.
Yeah, no, everything is in pipe.
Yeah,
there.
residential as well.
You know, I think there was like some fires or something that might have been the cause of that.
Major
Yeah,
fire.
I'm thinking, yeah. It makes LA look like they're burning marshmallows.
Right.
Yeah, I think I recall they've read the history about it at one point or another.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. That's good. So it's going to be a whole big introduction for you, Nate. So buckle in here, buddy, because we got a lot from your missus last time she was
Yep.
here. I understand that you were in the field, moved to a position indoors, now have gone to another promotion again recently. But if you don't mind, take whatever time you want. Start out. Let us know how you started in the industry in the first place. What got you into it, and which industry were you in?
I was a carpenter.
Excellent.
And I'd say more of a jack carpenter, non-union. So we did everything from demo, framing, drywall. I'd say I'm fairly decent at taping. I mean, I own all the auto tools and know how to use them all.
He's being humble here. He's a freaking awesome taper.
But yeah, did all that stuff. Did everything that you basically don't have to carry a license for, where I could work underneath the general contractor. Worked all over the country. Worked as a sub to the company that I work for now.
Good.
Yeah, so kind of got to try my hand at a little bit of everything. And had an opportunity 10 and a half years ago to go into the office as an assistant project manager, which right away was not something I was anticipating doing. And this one decided that I get the phone call. I'm out on my deck having a cigarette and get off the phone. She comes out on the deck. She's like, "Who is that?" Tell her who it is. And she's like, "What did he want?" "Well, he was offering me a job." She's like, "You want to have a family, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, You're going to take that job then, right? I mean, because I was traveling between probably 40 and 45 weeks a year all over the country doing primarily tenant improvement work. So, I mean, I'd go and I'd do the supervision, work as a subcontracted superintendent on the job, do all of the trade work that was applicable from start to finish, and then pack up and head off to the next site. So,
Holy shit.
yeah.
He wasn't home very much for the first couple of years that we were together.
Nope.
So after we
got
got
married in a remote relationship, and then
yeah.
decided to be at home all the time. That was that felt like I was shaking the dice right away. It's like, we get along.
We're gonna come back to it. Don't worry, it's in my notes.
Yep.
You don't have to worry about that. All right. So you said it was about 10.5 years ago that you made the decision or were offered that job to move into the office.
Yep.
How long were you working resi and remodel stuff before that?
I guess it would probably be about 7 years prior to that.
Also a good experience then. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I only asked because later on when we decided to tease you a whole bunch about moving into the shop, some people go in with no experience, and it's nice to hear somebody who moved from that world. So you know what you're doing is basically what I'm getting at here.
Yeah, no, that's huge because we get so many project managers, we get so many superintendents that don't know what the is going on.
Come straight out of school.
Yep.
They know how to do the Gantt scheduling. They know how to do the financial management, and they don't know how to answer a question when they get it from the field.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Yep.
Or how to bid to get going because you don't kind of understand how things are really going to be.
Right.
But we can bitch about that stuff all the time.
Those are always the good times though, when you get called in by the PM, be like, hey, we got this project you're going to take care of. What do you need to start? Motherfucker, you should already know that.
You're supposed to tell me this.
Scary.
I'll do your
for
takeoff
sure.
job for you, I suppose.
Well, so you actually answered my next question right. Just kind of in your answer there is obviously the fact that you had been traveling and now wanted to be home, maybe wanted air quotes. You took that job moving
She
into the
wanted
office,
him to
right?
He
Oh.
wanted to be home with me.
Yeah, it would. I'm sure
It was a very good decision.
I'm sure it would be. But what a big change though,
Oh, definitely.
right? So, I mean, in our industry, we see a lot of times where sometimes you have to go on the road or you got to work nights or wherever a major switch is. What was the biggest change for you coming back to being around all the time? Because did you have the youngest one already born yet?
Nope.
No. Okay. So just getting a timeline here. Go ahead.
Yep. No, and I don't know. It's a totally different animal than being in the field. I mean, when you're on a job site, this is the task that I have to get done today. You're not worried necessarily as much about the tasks 2, 3, 4 weeks from now. I mean, especially if you're doing, like, if you're there framing and you're at the beginning stages of a project, you're just worrying about the framing. You're doing some coordination with the other trades. You're doing some of that to be thinking down the road, but you're not worried about, where's my finished material and stuff like that. And so you just get to kind of show up and do your stuff for whatever amount of time you're going to do it for that day, and you go home. And that was probably the biggest thing to adapt to going into the office is, I mean, I was a salaried employee from when I went in there. So you go from where you can really check out at the end of the day to you bring all of your work home with you all the time. So you're fielding phone calls late. You're waking up thinking about stuff that's, an issue that you ran into. All that stuff just kind of keeps going nonstop. So it's a different tired at the end of the day.
Yes, and
Right.
we have been in / are there right now.
Right.
So that's I appreciate what you're saying there, buddy, for sure.
So have you found good ways to kind of mitigate some of that for yourself? Or do you have any good advice for guys that are coming into this and we know that it's going to happen, that late night, oh shit, or those phone
Just
calls.
make yourself a note.
Yeah, just
Then
set it aside.
Then you can kind of check out from it and worry about it the next morning.
Yeah. I always tell a lot of guys, like, nothing is the end of the world.
No.
There isn't a single fucking thing out there that's on a job site that's the end of the world. Like, unless the building's on fire, and then even that's not the end of the world because you're just going to start again.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right? So
That's one of those things too, though. I mean, I had a different appreciation for some of that going into the office where, like, if I had guys working on a night job, I tell them, hey, call my phone until my wife's waking me up to say, hey, answer your dang phone. Because I know what it's like too to be in the field and you have, I mean, I was working on a project at Mall of America years ago and we hit a sprinkler head at like 3:30 in the morning. And it's like, who do you get a hold of? The safety people aren't awake, none of that stuff. So it's like,
right.
sometimes you have to be willing to pick up the phone too, so that the guys that are out there still doing that stuff, making all the projects happen, have that lifeline and they're not just on an island.
Right.
Yeah, I wonder because I don't do a lot of nights, but I mean it sporadically happens, and when it comes up, that's always the question of if something goes sideways in the middle of the night, Now, I will say all the PMs that I've ever worked with have been real good to say, hey, I understand you got to work nights. I'll answer my phone.
Yep.
And if not, call me the second time. I'll definitely wake up on the second one. Like, oh, sure, great.
Yep.
And it's only been a problem once. Yeah. Those saw cutters hit 3 water lines and 3 electrical lines in the floor.
Oh, yeah.
At a grocery store at 2 o'clock in the morning when we were just like the rest of the trays were just about ready to leave. It's all right. There was only, I think I figured out it was like 130 feet from where the lines came up, and they cut it really near the wall to where the actual pump was. It must have been 50 gallons of water on the floor. Oh, God. It was not good. But again, same thing. Like at least one of those guys knew where the main was to shut it off.
Yep.
I would have been looking at all those like knobs and handles up in the air by the water equipment going, I don't know, do we just start with the big ones or what do you think? Like,
start with the big pipe coming out of the floor.
That's it.
We've changed our process for that because of people not knowing where stuff is. That's one of the things that's at the beginning of the job. You go figure out where your water shut off is, figure out where the electric room is. So if you have a problem, you can stop it.
Yeah. Oh, they were good enough to shut it off right there 2 feet away on the wrong side of the feed. But I digress. I'm not going to beat a dead horse here.
Yeah.
So then at the beginning of your relationship, you weren't both in the trades.
No.
So you never actually, and we're just going to say field versus office. All right. And we're not saying one is better than the other, although we know one is. So you decided to get into the apprenticeship after he was already moved into the office, had already moved from the field, but you had a frame of reference at least.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. What kind of advice was he giving you? Like, was he positive? Was he pro this move?
Well, so when I brought it up to him, we were outside doing yard work, and I was like, we had a couple drinks, and I'm like, liquid courage, because I'm fucking terrified to tell him about this, because I'm like, I've been thinking about it for weeks before then, because I was like on my toes about it when I found out, or right before we found out we were pregnant with Lorraine, and so I was like, and then when I got pregnant, I was like, I can't fucking start a new career and have a new baby. Like, no, thank you. So, and I was like, okay, so put that on back burner. And then finally, like after COVID and everything else was calming down and everything, I was doing the part-time lunch lady thing. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to do this forever because no. And so I finally was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to talk to Nate about potentially becoming an electrician. And so I had a conversation with him, and he was like, his immediate first words were, I was like, are you okay if I do this? And he goes, fuck yeah.
Perfect.
It's just like, he's like, what the fuck, Katie? And I'm just like, I've been thinking about it for a while and I just am not sure. And he's like, okay. And then he immediately was like, we know this person and this person and this person. Contact all of these people and get like advice from them on which one to sign up for. Because I know there's 2 in the cities, and do the union thing and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, oh my gosh, you're way more excited about this than I thought you were going to be.
2 things on that. One, isn't it funny when you spend all the time worried about something and then you talk to them, we're like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm happy. My wife and I usually just throw out those weird things right away and just like a grenade, like hope for the best. Like, is this a flashbang or a real one? Oh, you're cool. All right, great. Like, yeah, it saves all that future tripping.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's good. Mm-hmm. But I did hear you say when you were explaining that, union.
Yes.
You,
absolutely,
even coming from the non-union side, knew that?
Yep.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, so my perspective on that was the guy that I learned all the stuff that I knew from. He's the baby boomer generation, right? So he was to the point where he doesn't want to train anybody that's a super green newbie anymore. And there's a lot of guys like that. I'm like, they're aging out. The millennial generation seems to have less tolerance for the people that don't necessarily want to show up and do what they need to do every day. And so it's like, there's a lot of people that are more my age that aren't bringing in new people. I'm like, but the unions are, to me, one of the better options at this point to try to funnel people into the trades, because it seems like nobody else really wants to train up the next generation of people anymore.
Yeah, they're hoping for the best.
Unfortunately.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a shame, right? Hoping to get somebody, their attrition of going through people has got to be staggering.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can't even imagine.
Well, we've talked about it so many times that you get on these jobs and you get with these guys that have so much experience, and they're aging out. They're getting ready to retire. Yeah. They're pulling the pin. Thank God they're retiring. I mean, good on them. But all of that knowledge is going right out the door with them.
Yeah.
Because they're not willing to actually train or teach anybody else.
Nope.
And then you get the other groups of guys that I work with directly, and they're like, "Oh, it's not my job to teach the fucking apprentices." Da 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 da. I'm like, bullshit.
Yeah.
Who's going to keep paying into the pension for you?
Which is exactly what I was saying. I've been thinking of stickers to put on hard hats of every apprentice to go, remember, I'll eventually pay your retirement.
I'm paying your retirement.
Yeah, I'm your retirement plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, something just as a subtle reminder every day, a dollar sign or something, just whatever it takes for them to remember. Like, oh yeah, this is an investment in my future. Okay, sure,
Right.
Not just theirs. I got it. Yeah, that's not a bad thing. So once you were in the trades, Katie, you had already been in the office, and it was as a project manager to start, right?
Assistant project manager, then project manager. Yep.
Okay. Oh yeah, there's obviously got to be some sort of like learning curve.
Oh yeah.
How long was the learning curve? I'll just take a side tangent there quick.
I was paired up with my project manager for 7 years before I got bumped.
Wow. So
you
they
could've-
want to make sure, huh?
Well, I was operating more at the PM capacity, probably like two and a half years in. I mean, still doing a lot of like the more clerical type stuff. I mean,
Sure.
We don't self-perform any work at the company that I'm at, so we have superintendents, and then we have the office staff, and then we subcontract out the rest of the work.
Okay.
So lots of bid solicitation, lots of qualifying of subs bids, stuff like that.
So what I'm hearing is you're a slow learner.
No, but the guy that I was paired up with, hands down the smartest individual at our company. He just retired this last right before Christmas, but we called ourselves the Special Projects Division. So the company that we work for primarily does 5,000 square foot and under inline TI type work.
Okay.
I mean, I've done 30,000 square foot retail spaces, couple stories, multiple vertical transportation. We did a project out in San Francisco, 3 stories. It took a year and a half. We tore 2 sides off of a building, put like a 40-foot skylight on the roof. I mean, we got to do the stuff that wasn't just like your rinse and repeat cookie cutter projects. So it's like, I'm going to stay paired up with this guy as long as we can tolerate each other so that I can learn as much as I possibly can from him.
It's a great attitude.
He goes through a set of plans, and it's like you get a new set of drawings that come in, you get them printed. The next day they land on his desk, and he'd be like, all right, today after lunch I'm just doing plan review. And he'd flip through you could have 140 pages in the drawing set, and he flips through it for over that 4 hours after lunch, and like a week and a half later I'll be qualifying somebody on the phone, and he's like, oh yeah, turn to page such and such and look at detail 6. And you go there, and it's like the question. He knew that's where it was from the question that I was answering with this subcontractor, and it's like, I don't know how this guy does this, but he's
Holy shit,
unbelievable.
Yeah, that is crazy.
But he's got the whole thing built in his head. Like at the end of that 4 hours, knows where all the problems are. Just, I mean, incredible mind for construction.
And that's the kind of shit that can't be taught.
No,
I mean,
nope.
Yeah, you watch and see it day to day, and just organically pick up on it through the ether. Just like, okay, you need to know every kind of little detail and make the connections. That's good,
that's an osmosis thing that has to happen. There's no telling you how to do that.
Hey, Nate's our new thesaurus. Osmosis was the word my brain was searching for there and couldn't come up with. So we got a fact checker and a human thesaurus now. Perfect. That's great. I'll start with you, Katie, and we'll get both your perspectives here. And be honest, because I know there is couples that listen and people who are married, right? Mm-hmm. How long and how tough was the learning curve of both of you being full-time workers and having 2 kids at home?
Well,
because your schedule is weird as an apprentice. Sometimes you don't always know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was definitely because I was never working full-time until I started doing the electrical thing after we had Lorraine.
Yeah, no, I don't think you were.
No. And so
part-time.
it was a learning curve for sure. It was a lot of like, I'm not going to be home until, because this is when right when I started working, it was with Dan Becerra. Mm-hmm. And I mean, he was a service guy that went around. And so we would typically start around 8:30. And then some days I'd be like, hey, like we're having this issue. Like we got to stay here until we can get done. And it was frustration on his part and a little on mine, but it was just like, he's like, and I'm like, I'm sorry. But as long as we communicated, it was pretty good. I mean, like he travels frequently, but only for a couple days at a time now. And so it's like, we just have to make sure, obviously, if he's out of town, I'm like, I can't stay late. Like there's no way I can, finding a babysitter is hard enough sometimes, but it's
much
like
less one that can pick kids up from daycare and then get them home.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
And so it's just,
See, us with no kids don't even think of these little details. Yeah,
Right.
you
Oh,
might
yeah.
not
Oh, yeah,
actually
it's a
pick
pain
them
in
up
the
at a
ass.
certain
It is.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise you get charged massive amounts
Yes.
for
Oh, yeah.
every minute you're late.
yes.
Minute.
Minute. It's like
Minute.
you get
Minute.
a grace period of 5 minutes, and that's
Yeah, and
like
then
a
it's like
$10.
$5 a minute after that.
Yeah.
Where does that money go?
They
Right in
keep
their pockets.
Yeah. they
Same
keep
same
it.
place the rest of the money goes.
God damn it. Man, everybody got some little scam going, don't they?
Yeah, it's fucking horrendous.
So I would presume that even though you're obviously going to get phone calls and emails and things after hours, before hours, I get that. Was it pretty much a generic schedule for you when you moved inside?
Oh yeah, yep, yeah, 8 to 5, and then my travel days I take advantage of.
Okay.
I mean, I travel right now. I'm traveling about once a week, and those days I extend like crazy because then I feel a little less guilty if I want to try to get out of the office at like 3:30 on a Friday to go do stuff with the family. So
No, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
yep.
So I know what it was like to be an apprentice. Did a lot of that kind of fall on you initially when she first got in?
No, I think we juggled a lot of that pretty well.
Yeah. We did.
Especially the logistics stuff with the kids. I mean, that was the company that I work for is super understanding when it comes to families.
Nice.
So, and super accommodating. So it's like if you have a kid that you get the call that you got to pick them up from school or from daycare or whatever because they're running a fever. It's like, yep, go take care of it. And I mean, COVID taught us how much we can do remotely too. So it's like I can do everything from my cell phone basically anymore.
Right. If you got a laptop and an internet connection, you're way good.
Yep.
I got to tell you, I kind of hate you a tiny little bit for that. I'm glad that AI can never take my job because you physically got to go do stuff. But man, there's the occasional time my wife gets to stay home now.
Yep.
And it's like I'll get up and she'll be in her like jammies, drinking coffee, logging in. Like, God damn it, it's -18 now. Fuck, what the fuck am I doing? Fucking living here. Fuck.
Yep.
So I think that's why sometimes we'll hate on you for going into the office and make maybe the smart decision. We'd have to see.
Yeah.
So recently, we spoke just the other day, the three of us. You have now taken on a new role within your company.
Yep.
All right.
I oversee our superintendents.
Okay.
So I'll get to coordinate. We've currently got 26 active guys, and they're all over the country.
Very good.
Yep.
The super soup.
Yeah, the super soup. How long have you been doing that position now?
A little over a year.
A little over a year. Okay. Obviously with the same company.
Yep.
Yeah. It seems to me that if you get in somewhere and, put in the effort and just try to do good at your job, things like this happen. My company's kept me on for more than 10 years now. It seems like a real, easy equation.
Right.
But so many people have trouble following it. I don't understand. Don't like one job, drag up, go somewhere else.
Yep.
I mean, and you had shitty jobs. If you were doing most of it as a carpenter, get the hell out of here. Like, you had suckhole days.
Oh, yeah.
Throwing sheetrock up when it's cold. Fuck. Overhead. I could hate it.
Yeah, but now at the same point, like you said, your schedule is, and being in the PM, being 8 to 5 or whatever. Yeah, you know what? That's one of our biggest beefs as fucking field guys, and you know it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, fucking PM doesn't start until 8. I got shit going on. It's 6 a.m.
Yep.
and it's already going to hell. Fucking asshole.
That is usually Nate's day starts when he wakes up in the morning because he'll wake up to emails or text messages and he'll immediately be like, fuck.
Yeah, I pretty much start working the second I get in the truck.
Yeah.
Lorraine definitely I most of the time I won't make a phone call before I drop Elliot off, but then pretty much right after I drop Elliot off, I'm on the phone.
Yeah.
All the way to daycare. And Lorraine, she'll be in the back seat, and she gets a little rowdy some days. She's like, I just want to listen to music. And I'm like, sorry, kiddo. Like,
here's some headphones.
well, I mean, we've got guys all over the country too. So I mean, I've got guys on the East Coast. I've got a guy that's working in Hawaii right now. So it's like your day can get extended just by that piece of it too.
Right.
I mean, the phone starts ringing earlier when you got more stuff going out east, and
Yeah. No, that's for sure. Now, did you guys having that relationship of once you got into the trades, was there a better understanding compared to before you got into the trades?
Yeah.
Was there a better understanding about like, I'm fucking tired? Just
Were the things that Nate warned you about accurate? Or did he lead you down the garden path? No,
honestly
it's fine. You're the
did.
electrician. You don't really work as an
he does
electrician.
give me a bunch of shit for
Oh, yeah.
being an electrician.
Yeah.
Oh, what
Lots
did you
of
do?
broom
Stand on a
jokes.
ladder all day?
yeah, lots of broom jokes.
I'm sorry, what's this broom thing you speak of?
I know, y'all are allergic.
Hey, man, I'm just allergic to maple, period. Shuffles included anymore.
That's what apprentices are for. No offense, Katie, but
Hey, you know what? If I'm working, I'm be happy to dig a trench. So just saying.
I've gotten paid good money over the years to dig holes in the ground. I sure have.
Why can't my shop have apprentices like that?
Do I want to dig the trenches? No.
We
But
get a lot of
I will
bitchy, whiny
show up.
apprentices.
Yeah.
It's like what my foreman, we were outside doing the solar panels and he was like, sorry, Katie. Like, and I've been absolutely spoiled on this job. I think I've worked outside for a total of 3 days now, whether it was blistering hot out or freezing. And I'm just like, yay. And so I'm like, well, either he really likes me or I don't know. But he was like, I'm really sorry. We're going to have to go outside. You're going to have to help with solar panels. And I'm like, I'm writing this off as my solar experience. He was like,
Too funny.
Yeah, you
"All
got to
right,
put that in your time
silver
card
lining."
too, right? Like for sure, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
How often, I mean, a side note for those of us who are in the biz, how often do you got to turn in your time card? Is it once a month still?
Once a month.
Once a
yeah.
month, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it
Don't forget to do
Don't-
that.
I
Oh.
have once, I wrote my I'm so sorry letter. And now I'm just like the first of every month, I will stop what I'm doing and just quickly submit it because I'm like, nope.
I lost 2 checks because of that.
Did ya? I never got to that point. I had to write the apology letter, and I had to go in and sit there and waste my time for 2 hours one night waiting for him to come out long enough to say, okay, go home.
You know
Which
what?
was the second punishment back in the day.
So
101 miles round trip for me to go to the JTC, FYI.
Yep. I
yeah,
think
I'm thankful to JTC for 110s in St. Paul.
I never had to write the apology letter, and they never did anything about the second time I did it because I looked right at them. I said, all of my hours are submitted already for my license. I have my 8,000 hours. Why do I need to keep doing these fucking time cards? Right. And the director's all like, well, that's a good point, but you're still going to lose your check. Fine.
But it proves, though, they haven't changed it over the years. It's the best way to get people not to do it.
Oh, absolutely. It holds you
Wallet.
accountable.
I'm taking physical cash out of your hand.
Yeah.
Like that. People remember that.
It's
They don't remember getting
$1,500.
balled out. I've been balled out before. It's okay.
I don't know what it's a wage delay now. Like it's not just a check that gets taken away from you. You get a 30-day wage.
Yeah, you're bumped.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty-
So it's
pretty
just
bumped,
like, okay, now
Are you fucking kidding me?
and the more you forget, the more like I think it's a 60-day wage delay if you don't submit your time card. The first time you can do the apology letter and then stand in front of the committee and like beg for your forgiveness. They accepted my letter. I did not have to stand in front of the committee and
That's good.
please.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I did not get the wage delay. Thankfully, they forgave me because ChatGPT helped me write a really good letter.
Hey, by the way, non-union, we never had to do that shit.
Yeah.
Nope.
I'm not saying everything in the union is perfect. I understand the need for
It
time
does hold you
cards.
accountable,
Yes.
and I get it.
Yes, shout out Local 110 and 292. I understand the need for time cards.
Yeah, it is a
Even though it's
true.
pain.
I mean, they have to be able to audit the time and audit what their people are doing, and I get it and I understand it. But at the same time, what the
You
fuck?
still have to do it if you're laid off too. Like if you go a month without working, you still got to do it and submit 0 hours for the month.
Yeah, that
Which
was
I'm
always
like-
been that.
And
case.
how
Yeah,
easy
yeah.
is it to get that one? Like,
Right, exactly. I'm
Right.
like,
you've been off
Oh,
for
that's-
months sitting down playing games or whatever, doing nothing.
My
All of a
guys
sudden-
that don't turn in their time are the guys that aren't on a job.
There.
Yep.
Yeah,
That makes the most sense. Yeah, for sure. I get it. Oh, that's good stuff. I just want to back up to something real quick here, Nate, if you don't mind. How do you vet the people out of town, the subs that you're going to pick? Or is it always people you've worked before?
So the company's been around for 40 years and has been working as a national general contractor for probably 37 or 38 of those.
Okay.
And we're not like a normal national general contractor, air quotes, like you
Right.
said, where we work in 15 major MSAs. We worked in 44 states last year. We worked in 47 states the year before. And sometimes we'll not be back to a state for a few years, like
California.
Louisiana.
Sorry, that slipped out there. Sorry, folks.
Yeah, no, like Louisiana, Arkansas, those kinds of places where there's not as much going on.
Right.
You typically don't see as much stuff. But we've got a network that's, we've got a homegrown tool that has, I think there's like 46,000 contacts in it.
Oh,
And
great.
this is all stuff that we've compiled over time, whether it was, people calling subs out of the phone book, When I started, Google still gave you a pretty good list of phone numbers to call off of. It's changing a little bit now. You get more information on each one, so it's not as easy to just go down and bing down the
start
list.
making phone calls. Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. But,
Are you old enough to remember a phone book?
The Rolodex.
Yep.
That's
Actually,
a
probably
little
used the
past our
phone book the
time.
first time in Canada, nonetheless.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yep. We used to take that sucker out of the go on a duck hunting trip every year, and we used to take the phone book out of the hotel so that we could call the farmers when we were asking permission,
Smart.
because everybody had a phone number registered in town.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you went back far enough, there was times where that phone number rang 4 or 5 different phones. Party lines back in the day,
Yeah,
people shared
party
them
lines.
locally. There was only so many into like an area.
Yeah.
I know I used to hear all the stories when I was a kid because my grandmother would answer for every single time it rang, whether it was her ring or not. And they used to say things to screw with her, like, hey, did you hear so-and-so died? All of a sudden, that'd get all the way around the neighborhood, and somebody would finally talk to her go, I just talked to him. He's not dead. I heard it on the phone. They were screwing with you again. Like, stop spreading rumors. I remember loving those stories, and I grew up kind of wishing we
that's
still had the party
amazing.
line now. So,
The
side
original
tangent.
social media.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Still full of lies. As soon as they knew people were paying attention, started with the lies. Like, I think we're there, man.
Are we?
I think we're there. Are you there?
Yeah.
All right. I got to know, man. John and I are real curious. You know what, man? Go ahead.
I got really nervous all of a sudden.
Are you talking about the big bold letters that you have?
Yep.
All caps?
That's what I have. What's in the big bold letters?
All right. So we had an episode about injuries.
I knew this one was coming.
How the fuck do you get shot at work and injured with...
Can I preface something really quick? This did not happen just a couple months ago when I told you about it.
Well, I
happened
realized
a few
it was
years ago.
before that. Sure. Yeah,
okay.
definitely.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
But you got shot in the eye
Side of the eye, actually.
with a Nerf gun.
Oh
Yep.
my god.
Highly modified Nerf gun.
Oh, hey,
From
highly
about
modified
me
Nerf
to
gun.
you. And
Highly modified.
The name of this episode is highly modified Nerf guns. I'm writing it down right now.
so we have the 6. Oh no, much better than that. I guarantee you. You have to wrap all the
just
rubber
wanna make
bands
sure
from
you
the
didn't get too
blueprints.
uppity today.
You got to put it onto the plunger so it like dang near blows the tips out of the darts. Oh yeah, like you'd disintegrate the
Holy
darts half the
shit.
time. Yep. And it was from like me to you. As I was facing my computer, my office mate was not done, so he decided, hey, he's going to try to buzz me in the ear, whatever. Clips me right in the side of the eye, and immediately couldn't see out of that eye, like instantly, just total cloud. So a little bit of panic right away, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go home and see how this goes. So I drove home, being able to see out of one eye.
No, you stopped at Matt's first.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Because he calls me and he goes, hey, I can't see out of my eye very well. So I'm going to stop at Matt's and which his buddy at that time lived like within 5 minutes away from where he works. So
Perfect.
he's like, yeah, I'm just going to stop there for a little bit. And I'm just like, oh, okay, whatever. Just get home when you can. Also, why can't you see? And he's like, I got shot in the eye with a Nerf dart. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Okay.
That was your reaction to that? I would have
Oh,
had
no,
a
it got a
Oh,
lot
it got
better at
worse.
home.
Okay.
Way better at
He
home.
says better. I say worse.
This is exactly what we wanted for Valentine's Day. A real married couple who work in the bins.
Oh yeah. No, so I got what's called a hyphema, which is where you rupture a blood vessel in your eye, and so I had a lot of blood pooling in my eye. And I get home and I'm just like doing everything I can to not make eye contact with her.
You walked through the door.
Which
You walked
only really
through the
mean covering one eye, apparently. So
He walks through the door from our garage that goes into our kitchen, and I'm like, what the fuck, Nate? And he's like, it's not that bad, Katie, it's fine. I'm like, first of all, you couldn't fucking see and your eyes filled with blood. You need to go to the emergency room.
And let me tell you, walking into the emergency room, first, so the guy's like probably 12 feet away from me, asked me, modified gun or modified dart, like first words out of his mouth, and never once did I get asked if it happened to work.
Holy shit.
Yep.
good deal.
But
That
it was
is funny.
it's the number one after hours eye emergency in the country is Nerf guns.
No shit.
Yeah.
That makes sense, actually.
Yep.
Now that he says it out loud, I can see
Yeah,
that.
I can see that. Yeah.
Nerf
Oh, yeah.
guns are the new lawn darts.
So we have, oh yeah, yeah,
Nerf
yeah.
guns are the new lawn darts, yeah.
So we have in the town that I live in, the kids do this Nerf war every year, and it's through all the kids that are in the sports,
Yep.
basically, and they're seniors, and so it's gotten so intense that there is rules. You can't open somebody's car door. You
Oh.
can't get them at work because like kids were driving
is this
through
like
the
an all-day event?
Oh, it's a weeks.
Oh,
Weeks.
fun.
It takes. And so because it got really bad a few years ago, they actually caused a car accident. A kid rolled his car because of it.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Yeah, it was bad. Like shot him through his driver's window and caused him to wreck his car. Right.
Oh, shit.
People were going up to businesses and popping them, shooting through the drive-through windows. Right, at restaurants. So they had like, So, yeah, no, it gets intense. I can see how kids get hurt and people, well, grown ass fucking men.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Oh, Jesus.
The number one after hours eye accident.
How many days did you get off of work for that?
I was home for at least a week, and I was told by the eye doctor you can't lay flat on your back, and you can't look down forward. So she's like, you're literally a couch potato for a week.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, which I bought a PlayStation, and we learned how to play Call of Duty.
Oh, there you go.
Yep, and got yelled at by all of the 10-year-olds. And
Well, that's because you made the mistake of going online.
yeah,
Good job.
yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I stay offline.
Yeah, I just want to shoot Nazis in the face and Normandy Beach. Right? Like, yeah. I don't need some kid overseas calling me an asshole or whatever. Like, yeah,
Right.
I'm fine with all that. Just FYI, the new Nerf chain gun, the EBF 25. It's only $174. Looks like we could take out 20, 25 eyes, depending on how good a shot you were.
Nice.
Yeah. Apparently completely automatic. Even comes with a little box.
So that's your next purchase for the office, Nick.
There you go.
I was just thinking for
Just
your
stick
own
it underneath the
personal
desk.
defense.
Oh no, those were all removed from the premises immediately.
Oh, I
when that
suspect.
happened.
Yeah, I wasn't even going to ask. Yeah, they
I
don't
called,
let that.
I called one of the other coworkers and I was like, "Hey, I don't know what you need to do, but make them all disappear."
See, and I would have been the petty son of a bitch that I would have gone back into work and just looked at my coworker, just stared at him for a long time, not said a word, just stared at him.
Eye patch on one eye.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
really ham it up for those first couple days. You know what I mean?
Get
Lean back
fucked.
and forth
Oh,
against
this
everything.
guy's not one of those people that would have any kind of remorse.
No.
Oh,
Zero.
all right.
Oh, buddy.
Shout his name out. Who are we talking
Oh,
about?
no, I can't do it.
I
Can't do it.
thought I'd catch him on the fly there. All right, shout out whoever you are. You must be a good shot at least. You didn't take his eye completely out.
He was trying to buzz his ear. That means he's a shit shot.
Right.
Ear, eye, same difference.
So
The same letter.
you're in the clean shoe mafia now.
Yep.
Do you miss working with the tools?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to say that's probably what I like most about the role that I currently have. It gets me back out on job sites, and I get to. And I don't even know if it's so much the physical work that I miss. I mean, there's something about going and getting like a good sweat on for a day and just like feeling physically tired at the end of the day.
Definitely.
Which, I mean, you have weekend yard work and stuff like that you can really go after if you want to scratch the itch. But to me, I traveled all over the country and met all sorts of different people. So it's the not going to get and meet all these different people from all these different backgrounds and stuff like that, which is what I definitely like about getting back out onto sites again.
Right.
Does that happen very often?
Getting onto the job sites?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm at least once a week.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are you
next week I'm gonna
traveling
be-
to all these states that you're doing all the
Oh,
work
yeah.
in?
Yeah, next
Okay.
week I'm going to be in Dallas for 2 days. I'm going to be in Boise for a day. Yep.
Sorry about Boise.
And Katie, it seemed like you took it real well when he decided to give up his man card and kind of give up on life and go into the office.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, 1,000%. I was
you're-
all on board with it. So I told him, I was like, I'm not meant to be a single mom. So if you want to have children with me, you got to figure something else out because I wasn't going to have kids and raise them by myself.
yeah, that is the thing, right?
I'm sure as the kids got a little more self-sufficient at their age, it makes it a little easier.
Oh, it's so much easier. They can make they get breakfast going.
Right.
I mean, it's just cereal, but it's like you can actually lay in bed for a minute now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
one
that
extra
is
step that they're
true.
probably not standing over you going, breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wide-eyed,
It is
like,
true.
get up.
It's a little bit harder when Nate's out of town, especially when he's traveling like week after week after week, because you still have the daily life of like everything else going on during the week when he is home. So it's like you barely get to see each other, let alone like hanging out with the kids and everything, which emotionally especially Lorraine, oh my gosh, she's a hot mess express whenever Nate has to leave.
Well, at least she's talking to me now, though.
Yeah.
Like 6 months ago, if I was going out of town, she like wouldn't talk to me.
And she would just
Oh
scowl.
yeah, she gets super mad.
So angry. And she just he'd call like FaceTime and be like, "Hey, you want to talk to Dad?" And she goes, "No."
Is she typically a daddy's girl?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's why she's pissed.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I was
you
leaving
used
her.
the word in
Yeah.
our last episode, sassitude.
Oh, that
I've
girl's
added
got
to my
it.
vernacular the last 8 months.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely still full of that sassitude.
Oh, that's cute. Now, you had also mentioned that one of the little ones was always already cute, saying she wanted to be an electrician like Mom when she grew up.
Yeah, Elliot. She still has her little. We got her this little like circuitry kit thing, and it's AA battery and does like all the beeps and whistles and stuff like that. And she still plays with it every now and then, but she wants to be a veterinarian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a stereotypical.
I
little
think
girl.
almost
Yep.
every little girl I
Yeah.
know says
Mine
vet
did.
at some point.
Yeah.
Horses specifically seem to always been popular where I was from.
Yeah, don't be a crazy horse chick.
I won't let that happen.
Yeah, we know a young lady who's real into horses.
Yeah,
Her
we
daughter, yeah, we're not going to shout her out and put her on blast here or anything, but yeah, it's an expensive hobby. That
It
one,
is.
right.
Yeah.
And maybe, who knows, next year it might be firefighter
Exactly.
or astronaut or who knows,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
I heard a kid the other day say, I want to be AI when I grow up.
do.
That kind of broke my brain a little. I'm like, you might get your wish, kid, so let's just back off.
Have you looked into that at all?
What's that?
They're hiring English majors to be the prompt writers for these AI systems. These people make like $300,000 a year.
There's
Son of a
money
bitch, I
be
need to
made.
tell my daughter that.
Yeah, there's big money to be made.
She's
It's
graduating this
insane.
year with an English major.
Oh, perfect.
Well, but I mean, you take something that was like, otherwise, what were your options? Be a teacher,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and now you can go and make 4 to 6 times as much as that teacher doing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
It's
Not to mention,
insane.
teachers take so much abuse now from like parents and students.
my
Oh, I
God.
couldn't do
Wild.
it, man.
I cannot imagine. Like, I can't imagine being one of those parents being like that to a teacher. Like, it breaks my heart. All of the shit the teachers go through. It's like, holy shit.
Well, the best time is as your kids get older and you get into parent teacher conferences, and you especially get into the high school and middle school area.
Yeah.
You can do what I did, and they have like, I don't know how your guys' schools are set up, but ours basically they take all the teachers and they put them in the cafeteria.
Oh.
And you just go around and you find the teacher.
Oh,
and you
nice.
schedule times. But when you hear a parent being a dick, you get the honor of walking by them being like, and you're a dick. And you say it loud enough so they hear you.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know.
I would have thought, I think it didn't last very long. I think it lasted maybe for a few months, a year of after the pandemic. I knew a lot of parents who were very much nicer to the teachers than like, oh, I didn't know what they were
Well,
going
yeah,
to.
because
I
they
had
had
to teach
to
my
actually
shit
teach
at all.
their kids.
Right, but it didn't last.
No.
A couple of them that I heard that were real sympathetic
Nope.
a couple years ago. Now all of a sudden they're back to bitching about the school board. I'm like, do you want your kid home again?
Right.
They're 13 now. You want your kid home again for a year?
Homeschool
No, you don't.
them.
Right.
Yeah.
Homeschool them. Go right ahead.
Yeah, everybody learns that lesson. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah,
So-
no, I can't do it.
I can't even imagine what you go through. Once in a while, I'm like, I have a kind of an idea what a parent does, and then I'll see an interaction and go, no, I don't. You don't even have the vaguest idea. Wait, you can't choke them? Oh, okay. Scratch that off the list. Like, shit.
There's not enough parents anymore that look at their kids when they get in trouble and be like, what the fuck did you do? Mm-hmm. It's never that anymore.
No.
It's like, oh my God, I can't believe they yelled at you.
Oh, that was one thing that we figured out even way before we had kids, though, is that we were at least both on the same page of like not being okay with raising little assholes.
Yeah.
Where it's
yeah.
like, yeah, we're not going to let them do the same kind of crap that a lot of these people that we know or see out in public are
No.
doing. It's like,
Thank
no
God.
way.
The best time is when they have friends and their friends are like that. And then they come over to your house and then you get to look at them and go, yeah, you're not doing that here.
No.
And it just like breaks them.
We had a few
Little
friends that would like threaten their kids. They're like, we're gonna send you to Nate and Katie's house
Yep.
and take care of you.
That's a
if
good
you
house
act
to be.
This. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Nate, I feel like we're winning in the parent department. The
Oh,
fact
for
that
sure.
people are like, we're gonna send them to Nate and Katie's house to get you set straight. Like,
Actually, a lot of people would be insulted by that. I think that's nice,
I'm
right?
not offended by it in the
right.
slightest bit. I'm
For
like,
sure.
I take that as a compliment because my children.
Yeah,
are
that's the
pretty freaking
gulag over
awesome.
there. That's Siberia. You don't want to be over there.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Yeah,
You don't
spend
want
the
to do
night
that.
over there. See how you like that and come back.
We had little times that, you know, my kids would go over to a friend's house and I'd look at my kids and be like, oh, by the way, their parents have the okay to whoop your ass. Mm-hmm. Step out of line.
Right.
And they're just like, yes.
That you're not escaping. Their house is an extension of ours.
Yes, exactly.
Well, we were just talking with Crispy in a recent interview. He came back in again. I remember the days where if you got hurt and came home, your parents would ask you, what did you do? Right? They would believe the other parents over you. Like, man, I wasn't even there.
Yeah.
Well, that neighbor said you were, so.
Yep.
The good old days.
Yeah.
Too fun.
So, getting back to the point, Nate, there's always lots of tangents here, buddy. So you're not embarrassed that you don't really work for a living anymore? You're okay with it? You like what you got going?
I like what I'm doing. Yep.
If the office work, I mean, obviously, we'll hope this doesn't happen, but if the office work were to dry up or all of a sudden they just decide to move to Europe and you didn't feel like doing it, how would you feel about picking the tools back up? Man?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you'd be all right with it?
Yeah, I still do some side work.
Oh, there you go. Okay, perfect. Yeah.
You'd have to buy all new tools. They're fucking rusted.
So, funny story.
Dude, he's a carpenter. Their tools are never brand new.
No, but everything's battery powered now.
Yeah.
Like I went and helped a buddy hang a whole bunch of rock in this guy's pole shop, and everybody's I break out the old DeWalt corded gun, and they're all looking at me like, "What the fuck are you towing a cord around for?" And I'm like,
Where do you think you're plugging that in, dickhead? Like, yeah.
"Yep, pretty much." And I tell you what, that stuff's made the job site a hell of a lot safer too.
Oh, it has.
You don't have cords everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
They should be able to bring stilts back.
The guys that were on the job at
They're letting them run
Yeah,
stilts still.
oh, yeah,
yeah.
you still see stilts a
Stilts are
lot.
everywhere.
Yeah, you still see stilts a lot. But I noticed not a lot of young people on stilts.
No.
It does
No.
seem to be the older, experienced people who were used to it from before.
It's like you don't see a hawk anymore either. It's all pans. Everybody wants carpal tunnel.
Yeah, I guess. There's something
Gives
said
them a
for
reason
that
to
shit,
take
yeah.
some time off.
Like you look at that motion that you make with a keyboard, right?
Yep.
It's back and up. You hold a mud pan. That's exactly where your hand's going.
Yep.
Your hand's numb in like 15 minutes. It's great.
The
Flat thing with
Yeah.
the handle. So your
Oh, yeah.
hands.
There was a couple
in a
of the
normal
guys on the
ergonomic
last job.
position.
He had the plate with that, and
Yep.
he wasn't
That's
using
a
it.
dying art right there. That's like you learned how to tape from your grandpa.
Yeah.
Brickies still do it,
Yep.
but that's about it.
Yeah, that's right. It's the only people you really see now, right? Yeah. Well, and then you see these fucking people on the internet. So John and I talk all the time. The internet's a dumpster fire, right? But then you do see some amazing things once in a while. Watched, and I will admit, no surprise here, but it was a young Hispanic gentleman taped and mudded a whole room about the size of maybe 3 times this area in 60 seconds on the internet. And then
With a bazooka.
I'm like, man, how? I would be all day at that and it would still look like shit.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy, man.
Yeah.
But you'd think,
You can go to Philly though, and the union doesn't let you use bazookas. They still have to run a banjo.
What?
The bazooka's too efficient. New York City, they won't
Oh,
let the glass
motherfucker.
guys use a robot. Like the glass robots for,
Yeah.
the big like 10 by 10
Yeah,
lights.
yeah.
Yeah. Can't
because
use
it's
them.
too efficient.
Taking too many jobs.
I don't hate it.
Yeah. I don't hate that one either.
Do you know how many guys you have to lift a piece of glass like that? They're not supposed to lift over 75 pounds a person.
Right. You
So
can't.
you're talking like fucking 8-9 guys to
if you can
lift those
even
panes?
if you can
Oh,
even
yeah.
fit them safely side by side
Right.
Yeah.
to hold it, right? And then you still got a dude up top who has no idea what he's doing, trying to hold it level.
Yeah,
Right.
the
Where you're
one
like,
guy
why is
on
it
the
leaning
ladder.
towards me.
Yeah, the one guy on the ladder.
Yeah, you got to pick the guy can at least kind of imagine vertical, like a little bit. Yeah, everybody holding weight and then it's leaning back. You're looking at the guy going, "You have one job."
Right.
Yeah, I definitely
Texas-
don't want to be swinging glass.
Tennessee lean.
Yeah, we definitely don't want that. Once in a while, I have a reminder of something. That's a good one. Definitely no swinging glass for me. Glazer's got a fun job. Let them keep doing that.
Yeah, no, I'm very, very, very okay doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. Every time I see one on the road, those trucks, I don't understand how they don't break. The sheets of glass on the
Just
side
held
of
in
it.
there by those like 4 little rubber clips.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It doesn't
on the
slide
side of the
anywhere.
van.
It just amazes me. I'm looking at it going, really? You just drive down the highway? Like, I hit the bump the wrong way. My back hurts for 3 weeks. How does that happen?
Yeah. Don't take a hard left-hand turn. Because the whole thing's coming over.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, whose was that anyway? Was that
That
you?
was mine.
Ah,
I'm
look,
a fucking genius.
Damn
one of the
it.
hosts doesn't even know to turn his phone off.
Or my watch.
That's it. So, again, this is for Valentine's Day and all that. We do have a gift for you here somewhere. I'm not sure. The dog was chewing on it a little while ago. Do I recall you telling me in the original episode, number 20, that you do like some weird fondue,
Yeah.
lame movie thing with your friends? Sorry, I shouldn't say lame.
We don't do the movie part anymore,
Nope.
but we
No.
do like a steak dinner and then chocolate fondue afterwards, and now it's us 2 couples and all of our
All 5 kids.
yes, there we go. Thank you.
Yep.
So it's just a little shindig that we do, and we've been doing it. I was talking to my brother about this, and he was like, jokingly, he said he was going to invite himself over for our dinner. And I was like, no, we've been doing this for like the last 9 years. Because it started a couple years before Elliot.
Mm-hmm.
So at least 9 or 10 years. I'm like, damn. Thinking about that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. As you get older, some of these things, they really start to like stick with you.
Mm-hmm.
My spouse, because my spouse is a couple years older than me, nothing serious, 6. I just say that out loud to get a real honest version of what it is. She sent me something the other day about how old all the children would be from the TV series Friends now.
Yeah, like 30,
Yeah. One
27.
of them, Ross's kid, Ben, would be 30 today. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I just felt 3 more gray hairs pop in. That's fucking great.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, because what, you would be 34 now?
I am 34 now. Yeah.
34 now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I didn't think about that.
And you can't be much older, Nate.
Nope.
No?
Nope. 36.
Oh, okay, so there you go. Jeez, man, you must have got into the industry early, buddy. I was thinking that when
Oh,
you were
yeah.
talking about the timeline you had earlier, in like 10 years. Like, what were you, fucking in high school? Like,
Yeah, I was 19 when I got into the trades.
beauty.
Yep.
Well, that's what we want
Actually,
for more
I think-
people. Is why I bring it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, I might have been 18. Yep.
Well-
I was 18 and learned that I didn't want to do fucking concrete.
I learned that I didn't want to stay in college, and then my mom was like, "You've got a very short amount of time to get out from under my roof, so you better figure it out."
Yeah. Yeah.
We could use a little more nudging, tough love these days.
Oh,
I don't
for
think that's
sure.
such a bad thing, actually.
No.
Tell you what, though, it's getting harder and harder for kids to be able to do anything where they make enough to be able to make ends meet. Though, I mean, like when we had your brother living with us for a little while, he's got an entry level position now with our company, and I mean, you look at like the housing costs out there. I mean, you can't find hardly anything for under about $1,200-$1,300 for an apartment.
Yeah.
And it's like you got to be making pretty good money to afford that.
Yep.
If you're figuring 30% of your income or whatever, right?
Yep. My middle kid just got a job in a pharmacy.
Nice.
She decided to go work in a pharmacy. And she's, for that position, I mean, she's making good money. She's making $19 an hour to start.
Yeah.
Right. She comes home, she gets her first full paycheck, and she's like, how the hell do people afford a place to live?
You don't.
And I'm like, you don't. You figure it out. You better start. I'm like, look, the clock's ticking already, kid. I'm like, and we've had so many conversations, me and my wife. Like, okay, so how do we get the kids to a point that they can get the hell out? Well, it used to be with us and our generation. You know, we get the fuck out as fast as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? Like, I'm out. I'm 18.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Bye.
I'm out. And now it's just like I had to look at them and kind of redo what I told them before. And I looked at them and I'm like, look, I won't have 30-year-olds living in my house. And that's a legit number these days.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
No, that is legit. I was just going to say, I'm like 30, like 28's the cutoff. You can stay here until
That's an
28.
extra 10 years. I don't know if I'm okay with that.
well, and then I told them,
I know I'm gonna take back that comment in just a second.
I also told them, I said, hey, if you get to the point that you have more toys in my house than I do, get the fuck out.
Right?
Well, I was always reminded when I was young, and I was the same way. I wanted to be out early. I got out way early, right? Same as most of us probably. We wanted to get our license immediately, and we wanted to get out of the house as soon as possible, and it's the complete opposite now.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I would look at some of these young people, and again, I don't have kids, so it's easy to be big mouthy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I get that I'm speaking from a real easy position over here, out of the fire. But I mean, do you want me to be your roommate for the next 10 years, or people you know? And
Yes, exactly. My foreman, he's got the best like situation lined up for his 19-year-old daughter. He's like, you're going to find a house. You're going to find like a 4 or 5 bedroom house. It's going to be expensive, but you're going to find 3 or 4 other people that you want to live with. Not your best friends, because you're going to end up hating them, but you're going to find some people that you will want to live with. You're going to charge them rent. They pay for your mortgage. You don't have debt to worry about in the housing area.
And
I'm
you
like,
never mentioned that it's your house.
yes. And I'm like, that's
Right.
so fucking smart.
right, yeah,
Like,
I just have the relationship with the person who owns it to pay the
Yes.
mortgage and our rent. Just you give it to
Exactly.
me, and I give it to them. I'll give you a
Exactly.
receipt. Oh, this contract? I didn't make this contract.
No.
This comes from the owner. Sorry, you have to
Right.
sign
Yes.
this. Like
Yes,
year minimum.
exactly.
Yeah, due on the 1st. Yeah, looking back, it'd be way easier because I mean, most of us had roommates. You know, like
Yeah.
I was married.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You were married young. I forget
Yeah.
that sometimes.
Married
Yeah.
real
The
young.
gray hairs throw me, man.
Fuck off.
Hey, man, I didn't say anything about the second marriage. Just talking about the first one made you gray. Your new marriage would have the opposite effect if that could be possible.
Unfortunately, that's not true. I didn't
so-
have any gray one.
well, that's
my
it, right?
Second marriage.
So 11 years in, and it's basically about working the trades, but also there's so many people like us that are in this industry, so it's good for them to hear just regular people talk about this. What drives you crazy? Come on, you know what? I'll even start. All right.
Okay.
I always bring it to what would be the most ridiculous thing that could be in the newspaper headline about why I murdered my wife when I'm going through the trial, that could still be so annoying that I actually might have killed her for it. The tear off on the top of any bag that has a Ziploc, so like say a cheese bag, she'll tear it 3/4 of the way off and just
leaves it
leave it
hanging.
there.
Oh my God.
She does the same thing with the tops of a yogurt or a cottage cheese container, the plastic or the foil.
Yeah.
She'll take it almost all the way off, and then that's...
So does
was-
she get a bunch of cottage cheese up under the last quarter of the lid that's sitting there too?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. No, but it doesn't. With those ones, I leave it on the cheese and like coffee and stuff just because it drives me crazy. I'm hoping she'll eventually figure out that I'm going to kill her for it. But those ones, if I see it halfway off, like
aggressively ripped off.
like the yogurt container, I just throw that fucking thing. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
no,
that
I'd
or
be
the.
tearing it off and leaving it sit wherever the heck it was. Like,
I do
you see
that
these?
with the
These need to
foil
go
from a
away.
wine bottle. The occasional time my wife has the foil and the cork just are in pieces on the countertop. She doesn't use like an opener when it's one solid piece. She tears it off like a Christmas candy, and it's just everywhere. Those ones, I just leave it there. I'm like, I will wipe around it. I'm like, nope, that's just fine. You take care of all that. Like now, unfortunately and fortunately, with the new puppy in the house, nothing can be on the ground.
Oh,
So
no.
I've got some. I got a leg to stand on now at the leaving things on the counter that might roll or fall onto the floor. Like, if the dog eats that, you're gonna
yeah,
feel
wine
bad.
cork
Like,
would be a great trip to the vet.
yes, that wouldn't be a good one.
Yeah.
Ours ate. Our original puppy, Pepsi, ate a corn cob at a family event when she was young.
no.
She could swallow it,
Yeah.
but it wasn't coming out.
No. Oof.
Yeah, no.
That one was rough. I remember that. But yeah, so what drives you crazy? Get it
I'll
all
let
out in the
you
open
start.
here. Yeah, that's a smart husband right there. He knows what's up. Get the gauge of how deep we're gonna go.
Yep.
It's kind of like two things in one, but he has this weird thing about chewing whipped cream.
Yep.
You put it like and just and like over the top clink his teeth together like he's chewing on like a rock. Just like, why?
This is so much better than I could have hoped for.
And then also when he gets like, it's more like chewier foods where you have that like airy chewing. Oh my God. It's like chewing with your mouth open, but you get all of the air in and you just like slosh the air around in your mouth. And it's like,
Which is
and I'm like, oh, stop it.
I'm willing to bet that only really bugs you every 28 days.
Oh,
no, it bugs me every fucking time.
I'd like you taking a swing at the fence though there, John. I was thinking something kind of similar actually. Oh, no, that's funny. No, see, that's what I mean. It's got to be the little ridiculous things, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's absolutely
Definitely.
ridiculous.
All right,
The
fire
gulping.
away, Nate.
The gulping, hands down, the gulping.
The gulping.
She can drink anything, and every single sip, there's the as it goes down, and I'm
Like
like,
a cartoon.
yeah, I'm like, if you have your water bottle to your lips, maybe with the first sip, because there's air in that first sip,
Right.
but there shouldn't be any more air anymore. Like it shouldn't be doing that, but it
It's
does.
not every
Right.
time.
It's every time.
Well, I
And
noticed.
Elliot has gotten it from you. I don't know how she learned it because she didn't start doing that originally, but now she does.
Oh,
She
God.
chews like you too. She's got like the best, like the worst qualities from us. And
Oh, yeah.
she
Yep.
does it all the time. And I'm just like, oh, honey, please stop it.
Oh, that is so funny. I mean, I noticed that Kate rolled up like the fucking white SUV mom with the fucking Stanley Cup
I
this
call
morning.
it my basic bitch cup.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh, now the 8-year-old's got one too. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. Don't feel bad. My wife's got like 3 of them. Like,
It's not a Stanley though. It's like a
no, that's a Stanley.
It, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
To
Because
be
they put the
fair,
handle on the wrong
to be
side.
fair, I got this from my sister, and I love it because these are our wedding colors. And she got it as a bridesmaid's gift, and she's like, "It's just not big enough for me, so here you can have it." And I'm like, "Thanks."
That was your wedding colors.
Yeah. So the blue was the bridesmaids' dresses were like this color blue,
They're a little brighter than that.
a little bit brighter, yeah. And then the vests and ties were So we had gray tuxes with like, it wasn't quite this like exuberant of a lime green.
Let's say, did you get married in fucking Vegas or what? Like, holy shit.
No, we got
No,
married
it was like
in
the
Prior
pocket
Lake.
squares were that color.
Yeah, and the vests.
Oh, well, then that's
and-
Like
not
the
bad.
accent
Yeah, no,
color.
it was
if
like
you will.
accent.
Were you thinking the wedding dress was also a rave outfit? Is that what you
Dude,
had?
I would've
That's what I had in my head, right?
loved
Glow
that.
sticks.
Yeah,
I
that's
pictured
kind of what
boom,
I was
boom.
thinking.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
I could
glad
see
I was
Nate
wrong.
with the fucking glow stick necklace.
Yeah, I was like, I'll put a photo up on social media, folks. Neon green, neon green. Like that
It was a
good
little bit
times.
less intense of a neon green, but it melded really well together.
Yep.
I liked
It's interesting. It's both mouth noises for you.
Yeah, it really is. That's
Oh, and
interesting.
you should hear either one of us if either one of the kids chew with their mouth open, even one crunch, and it's like we are both just on them like instantly.
Yeah, we are.
I will say my wife does give me a little bit of shit, and so do my kids about chewing because I have a really loud chew. Like if I'm
Apparently, I do too.
if I snack on chips or something like that, like it is loud. I can't hear anybody talk while I'm chewing on a chip.
Yep.
It's so loud in my head. And then my kids are all like, Dad, that is really loud. And my mouth's closed. Like, how is that so loud?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm lucky in a way. My wife is hearing impaired, so I don't know whether if I am making an annoying noise, she will just turn her hearing aids off, or whether most of the time her hearing is just intentionally or initially bad enough that she can hear anyway. So fortunately, I don't get any like noise related ones. Occasionally, if I'm playing Call of Duty too loud, she will ask me to turn something like that down, though. I will say that.
So my wife, when it comes to, as we were talking about strange things that we'd end up in the newspaper for,
Yeah.
the fucking turtles. Now we call turtles fucking water bottles.
Oh.
Right? Plastic bottles of water.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
If they're warm or if they get to room temperature, she doesn't finish them. So there's 100 of them around my fucking house that are half full. Because she'll just go get another one. And it's just like, combine and put it in the fucking fridge, please. Like, oh my God. I've literally walked out of our bedroom because she'll stack them up because she, on the way to bed with an armful going out to the kitchen, and I'll just fucking stare at her as I walk by. Just be like, I'm fucking cleaning up your mess.
Cat, don't knock those off. Cats don't knock them down all the time.
No, they're half full, so they're
they
just
got a
enough
lid.
weight that they got a lid.
Fair enough. All right.
They're not fun.
They're not as
What do
fun
you do
as
with
they
the half full water bottles?
Half full water bottles.
Yeah, what do you do with the half full ones?
I combine them
And then stick them in the
and
fridge.
stick them in the fridge. Yeah. You're like, here, I'll get these cold back down for you. Jesus.
Yeah, but all the bubbles went out of them at that point.
They're water. They have no fucking bubbles, dude.
Yeah, there's some natural bubbles in there. Don't worry about it. Your wife just don't like drinking flat water. I understand completely. Fuck, imagine that now. Sorry, I can't drink that wine. It's kind of flat.
As Nate's drinking a bubbly water.
Which is flat.
Well,
Oh, I'm sure at this point, yeah.
that's par for the course for an office guy.
Yeah. He's bougie like that.
Oh, like how many times have you had the last drink of your energy drink, juice, whatever it is, driving home completely warm? That's just that's construction. That's the trades right there.
Yeah, I don't have a single problem with it.
Yeah, I don't
Drink
either.
warm pop. Like,
I don't drink
I just-
soda at all, so.
Yeah.
My coffee, though, does get cold throughout the day.
it's because you're using those shitty Stanley cups.
No, I use Yeti for my.
Oh,
my
you're
coffee.
super fucking bougie. What did you do to her? Jesus.
Okay, first of all, my
Spoiled
first
ass.
Yeti.
Yeti.
first ever Yeti cup my Yeti coffee cup that I got was from my old a workplace pre Lorraine, so at least 6 years ago.
The red one?
Yeah. And then the blue one I got for you as a Christmas present. He
And
doesn't
then she
drink coffee.
tactically acquired it back.
Well, yeah, you don't drink coffee anymore, so I just am like, it's mine now.
Yep.
And then I also got this other Yeti one. Travis gave it to me for a Christmas present. It is not fancy enough to say Muska on it. It has a Uline logo on it.
Oh, well, shout out to Travis, who does listen
freebie.
every week, although he's a few episodes behind, for giving her a gift that he probably got from a vendor.
Yeah, for free.
Hey,
That's
I will
regifting.
take it. He got it specifically to give to me.
No, he didn't.
Actually,
really good about that.
actually, knowing Travis, he probably did.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that actually would be true. He is thoughtful that way. Yeah, if you ask about something, like, there's been a few things I randomly needed for my van or didn't even ask about, and he just knew that it was going to be productive for me, and went, here, I saved you one of these. Like, oh fuck, it's great. Never thought they had that. Yeah, he is actually real good about
Yeah.
it. So
Nice.
he hasn't given us any mead to try on the podcast yet, though.
It's so
That son of a bitch.
Is it good?
It's
is
so
good.
good.
What does it taste like?
It's like a sweeter version of, and I'm sorry, Travis, but I'm going to compare it to this. It's like a sweeter version of wine, but it doesn't have that like over the top sugary flavor, like essence to it.
Well, it doesn't have the tang that wine does either. Like, it
No.
doesn't have that, the
That
acidic
sour
profile.
sort of-
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's really, it's just super smooth, and just both kinds he had us try were really freaking good.
Well, Jesus, get on it, Travis.
Yeah. I've been on him. He'll remember eventually. I think he's got one kind of brewing or whatever they call it right now. He's going to give us a fresh one. I think is the intent.
I'm gonna walk into your fucking office.
Hey, I can
Be
be
like,
like,
"Hey,
man. Yeah. Let's see what the fuck is
fuck
going
is
on
going
here. Which brings up something I ask or inherently learn from all the couples I know. Do you drink the same alcohols when you have a drink?
Predominantly,
Sometimes.
yeah.
Not all
For
the
the
time.
most part, though. I mean, we typically are bourbon or whiskey, and then every once in a while, it'll be like, if anything, he'll be like, I'm gonna have wine, and he's gonna do his bourbon, whatever. And we used to do an old fashioned Thursday, so on Thursdays we'd have a couple old fashions,
Yep.
and then every once in a I've been on a beer kick lately.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I need all of the beer, which is not normal for me because I like beer, don't get me wrong, but it's just makes
Normally
me
at home, you're not a beer drinker.
No.
Yeah, you got to mix up a little bit. The reason I ask is, and thankfully it seems like you might be the exception to the rule. Most couples I know that drink the same booze end up not together. I don't know if it's something about you both take it the same way and get the same drunk at the same level and fights happen, or whether you're the one going looking for a drink and the other one drank it all up. I don't know what the reason is,
Oh,
but
No.
we keep a good supply, though.
that does help. That does
We
help.
have a
Yeah.
whole
speaking of that.
shelf.
Oh yeah, that is for you. Yeah, thanks,
that
John.
is for you.
Heck yeah.
One of these days, the
you.
Four Roses organization is going to reach out and send us a few cases of this. We give Four Roses small batch to all of our guests.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And thanks again to your daughter, because that was originally her idea.
I love it.
Yeah, from the very first one. So what plans do you have for the next year? We're just basically into 2025 here.
Right.
Is there anything big going on around the house that's going to cause stress, make you hate each other? Are you doing any remodeling? The kid's going to start band practice? What do we got?
When we do the remodel?
No.
Hit the nail on the head, folks.
So
that was from the hip.
Nate has this goal in his brain that, and this is not going to happen this year.
No, not this year.
No. And we're
making steps towards it this year, though.
He wants to push out our garage a lot and like just make it bigger and better, and he's wanting to take
Oh,
up.
yeah. Absolutely.
And our running joke is when it happens, and when he says when it happens, I say if it happens. And mostly I like giving him shit about it because of the fact that usually remodel tasks take so long in
I
our
don't know what
house.
you're talking about. I've only got like 3 spots on the house that are taped and not sanded, and 1 wall that's not painted.
Yeah, and that happened 2 years ago.
Not like a year.
2 years
and a
ago.
half ago. Yeah, something like that.
2 years ago.
You got the closet out of the deal, though.
Shut
we
up,
do.
Jason. Shut up.
No,
Shut
no, I
up.
was gonna. No, it's not what you think. I promise, man. It's not what you think. When did I finish my kitchen?
Oh, that was what? November? Beginning of November?
Still haven't grouted the tile.
Nice.
It's been like that for months.
Is it a backsplash? Oh, so it's getting just all full of stuff.
No, actually, my spouse has been pretty good about really not
Was she
messing around.
Q-tip the grout joints behind the stove?
I'm definitely gonna have to go through with the Dremel and do it all.
Just
And
clean it all up.
one side is just up a little ways. The other side I went counter to ceiling. That's what's daunting.
This is carryover resentment, though, from our last house when I almost finished a really sweet bar in our basement. It was shy. I think I was like 4 pieces short on base. Mm-hmm. And I think that's all I had left by the time we sold the house. And that project got started like 6 years before that.
Yeah, you briefly mentioned that on the other episode. It
Yeah.
came up briefly. Yeah.
I mean, we used it when it was half finished.
Oh, yeah, why wouldn't you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We had plenty of parties at that house.
It was a great basement bar area, and
And it probably
would've
sold
been-
the house to the one couple that looked at our house.
Right. That's the part that they dialed in on,
Exactly.
right?
They're like, this is
I
a
We
have
had an
great
open house.
entertainment
One
area.
couple came, and then they bought the house.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, that's the way to go. Well, you saw the shit show disaster. We bought this for my mother-in-law. I think it's 4 or 5 years ago now. That's on the list, but I also don't want to start that one until I know I can commit time and money,
Right.
because I'm doing the same thing. That's going to be the bar hangout. Eventually, we're kind of planning on having my studio in that other corner.
Yep.
Better chairs, Hopefully is what we're looking for here. Yeah, yours
Well,
is
now
the
you know
throne.
you got a taper you can call.
That's right. That's it. Yeah.
Well, I might utilize you here soon because I'm working on a basement remodel. That's been 2 years to a few months.
Hey, man, in your defense, when you had your time off, you weren't in shape to work.
I couldn't touch it.
You've made big strides since then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I only just say that to make you feel better. Still should be done by now.
Fuck, man. It should have been done a while ago.
That was the one thing that I did like about our house that we're in right now is we moved in and there wasn't anything that had to get done.
Yes.
Yeah.
How old was the home you bought into?
74, and it was renovated in like 2002 or 2003 by the people that we bought it from.
Great.
Nice.
So still
And-
built properly, not one
Yeah.
of these new ones
Yeah.
they're throwing up at a...
No.
No, and
No,
the
we went-
previous owner
we were looking
was
at
an
houses.
electrician, so
Yep.
all the
Yeah, I mean, I've got data pull boxes that have like, the 18-inch stubs of conduit with the grommets coming out of them for all the coax in the house, all the old phone stuff.
Yep.
He also put some stuff together like an electrician, where he didn't think about having to take it apart later. But we have a TV that was mounted in our bedroom. Like he like went in between a couple of the studs, probably cut partway through a couple of the studs, but like did a recess in the wall in the master.
looks great.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. The TV takes a shit, and I'm like, okay, I got to replace this thing. I'm like, it's got to be on a wall mount, right? Because it's like suspended in this little box out cabinet that's got like a nice 1.5 inch all the way around it, perfectly sized to this TV. Can't find a TV the same size anywhere. And he had bolted it to Unistrut, notched out the sides of the cabinet, slid it in, and then did all the finished carpentry around it. And I'm like, you didn't think that TV was ever going to go out?
What the fuck? Even I'm not that dumb, and I get a little squirrely.
And I was
Holy
like,
shit.
what the hell?
That would be annoying to find. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That'd
I'd be
annoying to
cussing
find.
out every electrician I
The,
ever knew.
the current TV is no longer mounted to Unistrut. It is on a $40 bracket from Walmart that you can reach from under the TV.
Yeah, that you can like pull out the TV.
Yeah, and there's like 4 inches above and 5 inches below in that cabinet
Perfect.
space.
There
And
you
the
go.
and the washer and dryer we had the same thing with.
Oh my gosh!
Now
yeah.
our washer and dryer's in our kitchen, which right away I thought was really weird, but it also keeps you from leaving laundry in the washer as frequently, which is nice.
Yeah.
Because like the front loads, I don't know what it is about them, but like you leave clothes in there for more than about 12 hours, and like you gotta wash
They
them.
get
Oh yeah, you got to
times.
wash them again. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
And so it's built in, all finished out like the rest of the millwork in the kitchen. Nice dark stained cherry and stuff. Nice deep countertop on top of it. And the washer goes out, and I've got to take the washing machine out. Well, the threshold, he didn't take out the floor under where the washer and dryer were when they did the floor in the rest of the kitchen. So there's a transition strip there. I've got to rip that thing out to slide the washing machine out. And then, wouldn't you know it, they don't make another one that's the same size. It's like 3/4 of an inch taller for all of them.
Oh, shit.
So
Oh,
now
no.
the thing's sitting up, and I've got to go and I've got to pack full of hot mud and then flat tape and repaint that one side because the countertop's now 3/4 of an inch higher to
that
clear
was
the
a
new
project
washing
that
machine.
happened in 2020.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
shit.
a COVID project.
That
It
was-
didn't get finished.
And after 4.5 minutes, she manages to swing it right back to where
Yep.
she was about
Absolutely.
unfinished products. Folks, this is exactly what John and I were hoping would happen today.
Said you're getting a plunger for your birthday. Bringing up old shit.
I am using that joke. I am definitely using that joke. It's funny you talk about the clothes in the washer because I noticed my brother and sister-in-law back home in Nova Scotia. It's right down the hallway. It's you can throw an airplane and hit a little paper airplane, and they would hear the washer stop or the dryer stop. So it was a constant cycle of getting in and getting out. I'm like, oh, that would be kind of convenient. Now here, I have on more than one occasion had Michelle come up to me randomly in the evening. I'm watching a hockey game. I'm relaxed, enjoying myself. And she'll go, so I was going to put some clothes in the washer. Do you need to rewash the clothes that are in the washing machine? Oh, no, I put those in there on Tuesday. She's like, yeah, it's Friday. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you might want to watch those again. Sure, like,
yeah.
yeah. Somehow the second they're in there, that's a completely different universe that my brain just doesn't know about anymore. I'm like, oh, that's where all my jeans are. Yeah, that's right. I was going to kind of clean those. Like,
Dude, wait until your kids are older and they're doing their own laundry. Like our washing machine sits right across the hall from our master bedroom. It's in the hallway. It's great. Fantastic spot. Living room's right there. When I'm doing laundry and watching the show, I'll get up, change my laundry because I hear the dings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those fucking teenagers have no idea.
No recollection.
And I tell them, be like, hey, you got a cell phone. Set a fucking timer. Make it match the goddamn washing machine.
Less pairs of underwear fixes that problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
You only wear used ones once or twice before you remember to do your laundry.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah. Fortunately, you grow out of that. Most normal human beings do.
Yeah.
It's got to be,
too
I mean,
funny.
again, back to stuff that I don't know, but, listeners might at least appreciate. Is it crazy amounts of laundry with 2 little kids?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It's insane.
I mean, come on. Bullshit. All of their clothes fit in one load.
Oh, no.
No.
No, because this Nathan here is
This, she said. Keep going.
saint because he does 99.999% of the laundry. My help into the laundry is switching it. So,
And wearing the clothes.
and wearing the clothes, yeah. Creating the problem. It's
Does
fine.
your 99.999% include folding?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
See, there's my weakness.
Yeah, me too.
I can get them clean and get them upstairs, but if they're going to get folded, she
I
either...
fold them right in the kitchen.
Yeah.
See, again, I think
They
that
go
might
on-
be the hand of having it right there, right?
That's the part that
Yeah,
I
they
like.
go
I
on
wish
an
when I'm
island
doing
and-
that, I wish the island was like 6 inches taller, just so that you didn't get like that. You know when you're working over a workbench that's not quite the right height, and your lower
Right.
back just gets a little sore.
Yeah.
Same
It would-
kind of deal, just from like kind of being lean forward. But
It would help if you weren't a fucking behemoth.
So,
Just saying.
yeah, by the way, were you surprised?
Yeah.
I never saw any photos of him really
No.
sitting on the couch, maybe with the kids on Facebook once or twice or Instagram or something.
Yeah.
Man, geez, the size of you. Like, when
Holy
he
shit,
walked
dude.
up, I'm like, oh, so Nate's coming and security. Okay,
Yeah.
like you're a big deal now. You're on one podcast, and all of a sudden you bring your own, like, yeah. The size of him, man. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus.
So yeah, I understand. If you weren't so fucking big, you wouldn't need a 50-inch high fucking
It
workbench.
is my most
that's part of the
favorite thing in
remodel
the world.
plans.
What?
Part of the
Make
remodel
it taller?
plans. Laundry.
Oh,
Laundry area.
okay. Yeah, that's fine. I was like, you're not making the island taller. That's where I bake.
So use a stool. Our last house
at
that
you,
we were in,
Steph.
I bought from a guy that worked for our company that was 6'10", and his wife was 6 foot something. So they put in like the extra tall handicap toilets.
Yeah.
I
Best
felt like
thing
a
in the world.
child.
She could swing her feet.
Fucking dang of
I
a feet.
literally
She hated 'em,
felt
and
like
I'm
a
like-
child.
I
My
would go
legs
to
are falling
anybody
asleep.
else's house and I have to go freaking use the bathroom, and it's like you feel like you're sitting on your heels. I'm like, the other one just like meets you part way down. It was great.
My missus is 5'10", so she's significantly taller than me, right?
Yeah.
So when I put the new one in, we moved in. That's what I did. I'm like, oh, I'll get the slightly taller one. I figured it'd be better, right? We're grown-ups. Yeah. If I don't wear shoes or slippers or something in there, my feet are asleep in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Yep.
I literally, like, I gotta use the bathroom. Oh, wait, where are my slippers at? Like, it's actually kind of embarrassing. I need, like, a little step stool or something. Like a little kid, just put my feet up. I'm like, yeah.
I know what
it's-
I'm gonna buy you for Christmas.
Oh, I'm telling you, man.
Squatty potty coming right up.
It still makes me laugh. Wouldn't that be something? The kind of photos you can't put on social media. Or shouldn't, I should say, I guess.
That's funny.
Oh, I like that. That's good stuff. Yeah, it's the little things, right? Like being tall and leaning over, doing all that. I get all that. I think I might have told the story on here, but if I did, forgive me. When I got all the new appliances ordered, my spouse, I think, was in Arizona visiting her mom. So, I mean, I didn't need her here. All I needed to hook up really was the stove and the washing machine, right? Everything else is plugged. I need a little help putting that microwave up, but I digress. When they brought in my new fridge, they had to take both French doors off and bolt the drawers out because it was so big they couldn't fit it through any of my doors. Pretty common, right? They get it in place, they put the doors back on. This whole process takes them 45 minutes. They line it up on one side, and with the fridge pulled out, I can't walk through my galley kitchen. I have to go all the way around. The guy goes to push it into place. Clunk. Off by a good half inch, 3/4 on the wall. I must have triple, quadruple, whatever the number is for 30 times. I check that and look at the guy going, it can't be wrong, man. It can't be. I did. Oh my God. I'm thinking, how the fuck am I fixed all this? My counter was placed. My cabinets were screwed in. I'm like, I'm fucking screwed. I walk over to the other side. There's a 2-inch gap on the other side. I looked at the guy. I'm like, pulled it over literally 1.5 inches, slid it right in. The young fella just put his head down and walked away.
Funny.
But after giving me a heart attack for about 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Thinking, well, I'm never hearing the end of this. Why'd you take the cabinets out? Because I don't know how to use a tape measure. That's all. Holy shit.
Oh, fucking fun.
My man, we got some fun stuff out of them here. What am I missing? What else did we want to ask that we got to get out of the lovely married couple here to give everybody some advice on Valentine's Day? Am I forgetting anything?
No, what is your guys' advice just to people in the trades that are couples? Like, what is something that you want to tell them that's helped you a ton.
And don't worry, take a minute to think about it. You each get your own answer. Katie's just going to agree with what you say unless it's about fixing the house, because that's how this whole thing has gone.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think as long as you're open and like communication is just the biggest thing ever. And like the main thing that's been extremely beneficial to us is having a combined shared calendar. So it's on our phones, and like, cause we were struggling with that for a long time. And we finally were like, we both were like, okay, everything goes on the calendar. We mention any sort of plans that immediately goes on the calendar. Yep. So that way we're not overbooking anything. And like,
it got rid of the, where, Friday night she'd tell me, hey, we're doing this tomorrow. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Right. Now you know, because the day before your watch is going off saying, hey, remember tomorrow you have this commitment that you agreed to.
Yep.
At least you get a little reminder. That's something. Yeah, my wife, my in-laws are the worst I've ever met in my whole life for that. I can't count the amount of times I've been sitting on the couch, turning something on the TV on a Friday night, and have my spouse come in for work, change them real quick, going, why aren't you ready? Ready for what?
Yeah. What did I miss?
What did I forget now? Or did you? And half the time it is me forgetting, I'll admit that. But half the time she didn't tell me.
Yep. I'm in that camp for sure.
Yeah, like there's definitely 50%. If we had video of our entire lives, I could prove at least half the times you never said shit. I fucking know you did. So.
All bullshit.
No, that calendar, I can attest to that calendar being a thing, because I have one with my wife. It's literally called Family Shit.
Yeah.
It's the Family Shit calendar. Mm-hmm. And she is on my ass all the time. I'm like, hey, recording this weekend. She's like, did you put it in the calendar? And I'm like, why do I need to put that in the calendar just so I don't fucking mess something up? I'm like, okay, sorry, honey.
Yeah, after 18 years of marriage, my wife and I are finally starting to do that just the last few months. It has made things a little simpler, I will say.
We just started doing it a lot in the last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
When I started traveling more, it became much more important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sure no when you're gone. Yeah, that's a big thing for a lot of people. I mean, not even the trades, but like any business. If one of the spouses or both, especially, thank God it's not both of you traveling all the time trying to figure that out. You would have had to hire a nanny years ago.
I've got a coworker that his wife travels much more than he does, and it's got to be a lot.
Yeah, I would have to think. Yeah, it's got to be quite a bit. Like you said, tough luck even finding a babysitter, but much less one that come pick up from school or drop off at school.
Oh, yeah.
Even the early morning would seem like it'd probably be harder, right?
Right.
Yep.
So what about you, man? What's going to keep things going for the next 11 years?
I'm thinking it's probably just the communication piece.
Yeah.
You got to talk about shit. If you don't talk about shit, you just let it fester and you get pissed off and you have explosions. And I don't know. That's one thing that I feel we've done really well with, is like my dad and my stepmom, when we like go up to the cabin and stuff with them for more than like 24 hours, they're like, God, I'll be out in the shop with my dad. You guys bicker a lot. And I'm like, yeah, we just get like these little stabs in though, and it blows off just enough steam that there's never like any big stuff though. I'm like, so it's just kind of, I don't know. I'd compare it to, I mean, it's a little different than like the banter on a job site, but it's that you have to be able to give each other shit and have there be just a little bit of an edge, but not like personal attack type stuff,
Right.
So that you can just kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, once it gets to that personal attack level, you're not okay.
It is. It is a good comparison to job sites. Actually, that's true.
Yeah. Well,
in a way, getting the digs in so you don't have an explosion on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take the explosion at work. That's fine, but I would call it more with the wife, more of a flirty banter.
Oh yeah,
pick on. Mm-hmm. I ain't doing that with guys at work. Just saying.
Why not?
I mean, I'll look at him and go, looking good.
But look at mine cute in them jeans, boy. Forget what movie that's from.
Puts lotion on its skin.
Right. See there. Now you just go. Speaking of which, real quick here. So we were pointing fake Nerf guns here at Nate earlier to just try to see what happened. I should have taken a photo at the moment.
PTSD.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, that's it. I was wondering if all of a sudden he freaks out, starts trashing the studio here.
Flipping tables.
You want to get some interesting looks from people? Go into Walmart at about 7:45 on a Saturday morning. Buy Nerf. Oh, I just remember the stuff is. That helped. Buy Nerf guns, Valentine's candy, and a Valentine's little balloon. Walk up and pay for that. If I had had anything adult related at all, Benadryl, anything, they would have been calling the cops or social services. The lady looked at me like, what are you buying at 7:45 in the morning? And they're like, just kept scanning. She's like, I don't see nothing. I didn't see nothing.
I don't even want to know.
It was a real uncomfortable moment for that lady.
You get a cashier at your Walmart?
I went through because I was trying to buy smokes.
Fair enough.
What else did you pick up?
What do you mean, man? It's Valentine's Day.
What the?
I got Valentine's presents for our guests.
Oh, so we're giving them whiskey and chocolate.
Hey,
What else
there
goes
we go.
better
Now we're
than
talking.
whiskey and chocolate?
I was about to say, is that a freaking throwaway camera?
No, but I wonder, can you get disposables anymore even?
I think so.
You got to be able
God,
to
I
look
don't
at
know.
I wanted to get actual old school looking Valentines where you put them in a little envelope. They're all versions or
funny.
whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it would have
Like
been
what
Transformers
kids
and
do it.
Mario
Yeah,
and stuff when we
yeah.
were kids, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, wait, what did you just say?
You caught it too, right?
That
You
was
wanna
that
say that
French
again?
accent coming out, wasn't it?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Canadian, maybe, not French.
Mario?
Okay, so let's hold on. Say, were you upset at the way that I said Mario?
Yeah.
Were you expecting me to say Mario?
Yeah.
Okay,
Don't try to put an
without
Italian-
A, not Italian.
yeah, without the Italian accent
Yeah.
there.
No, it's Mario.
No.
All right. Is it pasta or pasta?
Pasta.
Mario.
Mario.
No.
Pasta.
It doesn't sound weird. Mario.
No, that sounds weird.
That's fucking weird.
Everybody on the face of Nintendo knows that it's Super Mario Brothers.
And as you see, folks, occasionally the Americans just like to gang up on a foreigner. That's how this goes. I'm used to it by now. I got 18 years in.
Do you have a poll of Canadian and Americans how they pronounce Mario?
Not Mario, but we had an episode recently about it was the way John normally said things, but I kind of threw my hat in the ring too a little bit.
Yeah.
I will admit, if she ever listens, I don't know if our friend Lisa Lanik listens, but if Lisa listens, it used to be an ongoing joke because I drove her crazy for the first 2 years I lived here, regardless of how I said either pasta or Mario, whichever it was, okay? No matter what I said that time, I would use the opposite one the next time and have her go, no, you didn't say it like that before. I'm like, that's obviously what it is. Just gaslighting her to the nth degree. She finally just gave up eventually and went, I know you're fucking with me. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's Mario and pasta. For years I did that to her, but that's how my brain works, unfortunately.
Funny.
I don't think we've had a poll of Mario. I'll put that out to everybody.
Yeah, no, we certainly haven't.
Okay, so you're telling me the correct way is Mario.
Mario.
Ma. Okay, so ma, like mom.
Yeah.
Mario. Okay, yeah. Mario. Got it. I'll try. I want to be living here in America. If that's what it takes, that's what it takes, right?
And when he says it's a Mario,
So it's a May?
it's
No.
Mario.
Yeah, but he's not saying it's a
He-
May. It's
that's
a May,
what-
right?
It's a May. It's
yeah.
Japanese,
Yeah. Did you know that?
I didn't know
which
that.
means
yeah.
super.
Yeah, he's not saying it's me, Mario. Itsume is Japanese for super. He's saying
Learned
Itsume,
something
Mario.
every day.
It's a May Mario.
But it sounded so much like it in Italian, they just left it go. They're like, yeah, that's what we meant, sure.
Yeah.
As long as you buy the game, we don't give a shit.
Yeah.
We got to sell 40,000 more Nintendos or we all lose our jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when you were talking about the other stuff, I had a friend of mine who I hung around with a lot of married couples when I was young. I just found they were more like my speed. He said when it came to like arguments and cranky stuff, he said, I can be cranky now or angry later. They had a sticker on their fridge.
I love
I'm like,
that.
That's exactly what it is.
That's actually
That's
a really good,
seriously
simple
so
advice, right?
good, yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of the way my wife and I are now. Sometimes we'll hold on thing for a day or two, and then we'll realize and go, okay, I should have talked to you about this 2 days ago. But
Me and my wife learned as we got going in our relationship that if we pissed each other off, we don't say a fucking word.
That's
It will
how
be
we are
quiet in
sometimes.
our house for days.
really,
Yeah.
just easier.
It's we take the time to figure out exactly what we want to say, so we don't say something stupid,
Oh, I like that too.
right? So we just keep our mouth shut, and then we'll come back.
We have our
I feel like
moments
I'm
of
a lot better at saying the stupid shit, I think.
you are,
Knee-jerk
yeah.
stupid comments,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So am I.
Yeah.
I've had to train myself to keep my mouth shut.
For the most part, you can generalize all you want. That's a gender thing. Dudes are pretty good about just saying the first thing that comes to their mind. Well, you know what? I hate your fucking mother. Like, I mean, not all the time, but you know what I mean? Yeah, it's more fun to dig yourself out of a hole. Like, at least it is for me.
Dude, when it came to couple, oh my God. So my wife and I were sitting on the couch the other night, and she's like, so, had this interesting post come up, and I wanted to ask you. She's like, what do you think if women actually ruled the world? How do you think that'd play out?
That's a trap.
And I looked at her, I said, well, I know this is a fucking trap, but here's what I'm going to say. And I gave her this spiel, and she didn't talk to me for like a couple hours. She didn't like my
A lot
answer.
of women would hate me if I gave my answer, so I'm gonna keep that to myself.
Oh, I'm not saying it here. I'm not saying it on the record.
I'm willing to give him a chance to find out. That's what I'll say.
I love my wife and I love women, and they do an important job.
Yeah. You want to
agree.
take over the range and try to figure this whole mess out? Be my fucking guest. I'm the first to support every single minute of it.
Wrap it up with a bow. See
Yeah.
what you can do with it.
Yeah, help yourself. Just let me know what you'd like for dinner. I'll be here. It's
Yep.
all good for me. Well, I appreciate you both coming in today. This is fantastic.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you're able to be honest, have a couple laughs about stuff. That's what we were hoping for. We already asked Katie this on her last one, but I'll put you on the spot here just for a minute, Nate. You have been through various parts of this industry now, from actual working for a living to getting work and controlling things from the shop, and now running guys who are doing that. Would you say that you consider working in the trades a valuable career path for young people?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What would you tell them?
I'm gonna steal a line that I've heard from a guy named Paul Robinson.
Okay.
He was with Target, I believe. He runs an organization now called I Built This, Construct Reach, I think is his entity, and
Okay.
they do a program called I Built This. They bring kids out onto job sites, partner with general contractors, and get them exposed. And they're like, I don't know if they stop the job for the day, but they like set up stations for the kids to go and like work with the tinners and the electricians and the plumbers and stuff like that. And he speaks at a lot of conferences that I've gone to. And he has a saying, and it's construction is no longer an industry that you fail into. It's a parallel path to college. I mean, so I think that's probably that if I had to tell younger kids that have no clue what they want to do yet, you can go and do this, and your parents shouldn't look down on you for it. Your teachers shouldn't look down on you for it. You know, the world needs people to build it, and you have to have other people going into it. There's like a 1.6 or 1.7 million trade worker deficit coming over the next like 3 to 5 years, something like that.
So on the small number side, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have to believe it's a little bit bigger than that.
Okay.
Yeah. That was a generous estimate given what was happening in the world. I don't suspect we're going to go better before we go worse.
No.
So.
No, definitely not.
Oh, and I'm going to wonder if the first bark I heard from the puppy actually just showed up on the audio. Well, I think that's really good advice, actually. Yeah, and fail into is a good point because we've been trying to remind people, and as we've gone along in the podcast, that that's not the case.
Nope.
No.
Yeah. It's not the office work. That's true, but I mean, it's crucial.
And I'd say every bit is rewarding.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
Definitely.
you look at a lot of the students too that don't know what they want to do, and look at the ones that excel in shop class and stuff like that, where they're getting their hands on stuff and doing it. They find something that they enjoy. They just need to get more exposure to it, and then I mean, a lot of them fall in love with doing it.
Right.
I mean, you've got to do something to earn an income. You might as well do something that doesn't suck all day, you know. And different people have a different suck.
Right.
Yeah.
It's true, yeah. And I think a lot of people just see the bad parts or hear us complain about the bad parts of working for a living and don't think about the benefits, because we very rarely will come home and spout all the benefits. We'll come
Yeah.
home and bitch about the shitty parts.
Oh,
Yep.
absolutely.
all
Maybe
the
that's
time.
a change of pace from our generation to the younger people to just say, hey, these are the great things that happen today. But that's not human nature, so what are you going to
No.
do?
Well, and in the construction industry, we've kind of got an obligation to do some damage control, too. I mean, you take the stuff that the general public sees day to day. You're walking through a shopping center, you hear all the noise, the dust and stuff coming out from behind a barricade. You've got the road construction you're dealing with. You've got the stuff that falls off of a service van and hits somebody's car. You know, the less of that kind of stuff people are exposed to, the less of a negative, you know, lens they see looking at some of that stuff, too. So, I mean,
Yep.
kind of acting the way that you'd expect people to, not chalking it up to they're guys in the trades. No, hold yourself to a little bit better standard. I mean, you're making everything work.
Right.
That's
No,
it.
that's fantastic. And I think we have, I like how you put that, the damage control that we need to do in order to correct a lot of these situations, because there has been so many times that I can count probably 4 or 5 times I've had conversations with people and be like, oh yeah, I don't want my kid to be a construction worker. Well, why? Oh, it's just a dirty construction worker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
We get-
that's okay.
Yeah.
People need to know that that's okay. And frankly, if you're walking by a job site, and I love the guy's comedy shtick that he has, if you don't hear 35 cuss words in 10 seconds, that's not a construction site. That building's coming down.
Right.
Yep.
I do love that one every time. That's actually really good. Well, it's a great attitude, Nate, and I appreciate you sharing with everybody, because I mean, we're going to be hosed here in another 15 years if we don't start getting people in now.
Oh, and people think stuff's expensive right now. COVID was nothing
Right.
compared to if people quit going into the trades.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, cut all the
Fantastic
trades
for the
down.
current trade workers. I mean,
Right.
name your price, right?
Except
But-
we want to retire at some point.
Yeah.
absolutely.
I'd really love to be able to not do this.
Well, and at some point, you want somebody to do the stuff that you're doing for you. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want to be 80 and having to go and work on stuff in your house.
Right.
This is true.
Hell no. Hell no.
I don't want to be 60.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, that number's way lower than 80, for sure.
But anyway, yeah, thanks for both of you guys coming in here and actually sitting down. It's important for everybody to understand that couples in the trades, we live a different kind of life. We deal with different shit, especially if both of us are in the trades. It can get intense, but it is very, very possible. But on that note, man, again, thanks again.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Jason, thank you, sir, for setting this up. And
Hell yeah, we wanted to get them
scheduled
back in.
these two.
Oh yeah, no, after our first conversation with Katie, I knew I wanted the two of them to come in here, yeah.
Super awesome. I will take just a quick minute, let everybody know where to find us. Head over to the website. If you want to be a guest, there's a guest tab. Fill out the forms. Jason and I are making this year all about the guests, and that is our goal, to get more and more people on here and talk about what they want to talk about and share things that we deal with. You can also find the Buy Us a Beer tab if you want to support this little train wreck that we got going on that we're actually really enjoying to do. We make no money off of it. It goes right back into the costs of actually doing all this. And then find us on Facebook and Instagram and all the stuff. Jason, do you want to tell them anything?
Just if you wanted to send us a message directly, don't forget you can reach out to us via text message or voicemail at 507-607-ISAW. That's 507-607-4729. We do get back to you as quick as we can. If you catch me, you might actually have me answering my phone, but if you get a voicemail or whatever, don't feel bad. Just leave a message. We'll get back to you. John and I both work for a living still, so this is an after-hours project. But thanks, yeah. Anybody to check out all that stuff for us, definitely the Buy Us a Beer app if you want to help us out. We really appreciate that. You can buy us one beer or multiple beers at a time. We really do appreciate all the work. And that also does get you a sponsorship for at least one episode, maybe more depending on how much you donate. So we appreciate that. Katie and Nate, thank you. We really appreciate taking the time. I know it's tough because you got kids. You had to get a babysitter and stuff today.
It's okay.
But happy Valentine's Day to the both of you. We'd like to see young couples doing well, and we'll definitely have you back on the podcast at some point. And as always, your work keeps the world working. Thanks, everybody, for listening this week, and Slancho.
Slancha.
Contra.